Hello, here we are again. I tried doing this one yesterday, but it didn't seem to take properly, so I'll try it again. Um, where shall I start? Well, like I tried to say before, the NHS, I've tried everyone again today. Because I really don't want to end up either crippled or dead. And with the lack of duty of care that I've seen so far in 5 years, it will be one or the other in about 11 or 12 days. Due to either a severe stroke or a TIA. And that's sort of what I picked up from the paramedics that came round 2 days ago. Why is it whenever I start recording, my cats come round? They must know, it's like a click, click, click or something on the camera. Anyway. Today I've tried the police, who don't want to know. I've tried contacting the police about abuse of vulnerable, and since... Because I actually checked with 101, and if it was a vulnerable child being abused, they would have some action done. If it's a vulnerable, there's nothing they can do, because the people I'm supposed to report it to are the council. And Waltham Forest Council are the ones abusing me, and probably others like me. So I'm stuck in a trap between, it's a criminal offence, but in the first instance I'm supposed to report it to the people that are abusing me. Does any of this sound familiar to people over 30? It certainly seems to be repeating itself time and time again in this country. Then there's my GP, of course, Dr. Kazi, I think his name is, who I believe is the next Harold Shipman, because he had duty of care handed over to him on Thursday by NHS England, and he tried contacting me 8 times, but I already told NHS England it's pointless getting him to talk to me because he's rude and abusive and he doesn't respect me at all, and he dislikes me for contacting NHS England all the time. And then he sent me a text message on Thursday evening saying, please pick the phone up tomorrow, we'll call you tomorrow. Otherwise you can contact the crisis line. Oh, the crisis line that I've been waiting 5 days now to call me back. Was it Tuesday? They said they was going to call me back by 5 p.m. Not contacting the crisis line, thank you very much. And I've confirmed that is on record because on Wednesday I called them again and they saw the report on Tuesday and they put an email in to chase them. So they're ignoring me. Chris Gerling called me yesterday, today? I'm losing track of time. Yesterday must have been. And he was at the hospital and basically he's got 3 weeks left in his job and it doesn't seem like he cares. What else? I've tried contacting the NHS 111 service because the council won't let me report myself as a safeguarding issue. They're not doing any services to me, and the police 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, whatever it was now, actually told me the council have stopped taking any complaints from me. Nice. The council don't tell me, the police tell me. Thank you. The council can't tell me because that would be used against them with the housing ombudsman. Although, quite frankly, the housing ombudsman are a bunch of wankers as well. Because they don't communicate with me in a means appropriate to my disability. They communicate with me not in accordance with the 2010 Equality Act, but in accordance with whatever they find more suitable for themselves. Not sure that's quite legal, but hey... They're in breach of the 2010 Equality Act, and so are the council, Waltham Forest Council. If anything happens to me before I put another video up, I'm going to give you a list of names that I think should be charged with either corporate manslaughter or... Well, what do you get if you give someone paralysis. Is it GBH? ABH? I don't know. But if I don't die in the next 12 days, and I end up paralysed because I've had a partial stroke or a stroke, then the following people I charge with the offence of whatever it is for causing that. Martin Eason, Chief Executive, Waltham Forest Council. Sharon Allen Caby, Housing, Waltham Forest Council. Junad Uddin, Housing, Waltham Forest Council. Derek McLean, Housing, Waltham Forest Council. Anyone at Waltham Forest Council that actually supported the single point of contact that's been on my case for nearly 2 years now, and passed any information over. The contact centre at Waltham Forest Council that restricted access to services because I'm marked up as vexatious even though no one's told me, and I have a single point of contact even though Waltham Forest Council have lied to the Ombudsman by saying, oh, we sent him an email saying we haven't put a single point of contact on, and yet the local government Ombudsman currently has a complaint they're going through of a telephone recording that I made of the contact centre several weeks ago now, where they refused me access to the safeguarding team, quotes, because I have a single point of contact. So not only are they to be charged with corporate manslaughter and or assault, someone should take them up about lying, because they are transparently lying. Who else? Oh, Dr. Kazi at Handsworth Medical Centre, breach of duty of care. 2 years he's refused to call me on a non-private number, which means 2 years I've had no access to medical services because he wouldn't call me back. 18 months ago, he said he was going to call me back, and he didn't. He wrote to my consultant. But since he's my GP, and he knows I've got anxiety, and he knows what I'm like, because I've described this in detail to him, that I will wait for people to call me. Well, when I put a complaint into NHS England, and he calls me and says, well, I sent a letter to your consultant, Mr. Gibbons. And I said to him, well, I'm supposed to be a mind reader now. You didn't call me, so I instantly knew that you were writing to my consultant. You expect better service than that from your own GP. And I've tried to complain time and time again to NHS England about him for the last 2 years, and they've ignored my complaints. They've refused to actually deal with the complaints because I'm disabled. And I say that because they always want me. And remember, I've been housebound for 2 years now, thanks to my anxiety and the council and my neighbours, and the lack of service I've got from my GP, and the lack of support I've got from anyone. It's just ridiculous. I'm here talking to my phone because no one else will talk to me. So all those I want charged with corporate manslaughter and suspended to prevent them harming anyone else. I fear there are also racists among housing, because not only do they encourage my neighbours to have a go at me, and I say that with evidence now, proper evidence. The police told me 2 days ago that housing told my neighbour to contact the police and press charges for harassment. No one spoke to me from housing. No one gave me any warnings or advised me whatever. So how can I be charged with harassment when I didn't know I was harassing anyone? Surely housing have a responsibility to contact me in a means appropriate to my disability to discuss things like this. They promised to talk to me in December 2020, and as soon as the Housing Ombudsman got involved, they stopped talking to me and won't answer why. I've been waiting for over £1,000 from Waltham Forest Council. They won't call me to discuss how to get it back. I've been waiting for a tap to be repaired from Waltham Forest Council. They won't call me to discuss why it's taken so long. They know me, and people that know people that are autistic should know me. And I'm not going to let them transfer money and repair taps without them explaining why it's taken so bloody long in the first place, especially after I passed stage 2 with the council agreeing with me. And that was several months ago. Surely as part of the stage 2 complaint, they should have explained exactly why it's taken so long. No, they just agreed that it was taking too long. They never explained why it took so long. Sorry, I'm sure you're supposed to explain yourself, Waltham Forest Council. So, I've had no access to services for at least 2 years. My GP has consistently refused to call me on a non-private number since I've been here. 5 years, that is. Oh, all of a sudden, they've changed. I don't get an apology or an explanation as to why they've changed. Oh no, they've just changed suddenly. Would like an explanation and an apology. And probably compensation from the GP for all the stress he's put me through. I'll add that into my estate because I'm planning my estate as we speak. I'm going through my pension funds and getting those transferred over. Everything I've got, I'm going to try and find a solicitor to do a living will. Because I have to plan ahead, because I've got 3 cats. And I have to plan ahead for all this. And Mary Pretty's indignant and my cousin are organising it amongst themselves. I've already discussed it with them and they're taking on responsibilities each, should the worst happen. I have tried and tried and tried, and I'm getting the runaround from everyone. I've even tonight put a complaint into the police because they're not showing a duty of care. I've tried reporting, this is why I put the complaint in, because I tried reporting myself as an abused adult, and it's basically you have to go back to your abusers and report, go through the complaint procedures. My abusers are the ones that run the complaints procedure. And none of my complaints in 5 years, well, for the first 2 years, they weren't even logged. And for the last 2 years, they've not been investigated. Oh yeah, on paperwork, you can go through it and we've done what have they done actually? Not what paperwork is there. What have they actually done? Nothing. Which is why I accuse Waltham Forest Council of being racist. Because my neighbours and everyone else on the estate seems to go about their life as normal. But whenever I raise an issue or a concern, I'm ignored. Oh yes, no, not ignored. It's actioned for a brief while, 2 or 3 days, and then I'm ignored. So that if I raise another complaint, the council have this letter and correspondence telling people, well, we've taken this action. Yes, you took this action, but you're not going to show them the letter saying, oh, don't take this action any longer. You're only showing the action to get you off the back. I know what you're doing, Waltham Forest Council. Someone out there must be able to investigate you. I've tried reporting you to your auditors and they've ignored me. You're wasting public funds. Instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, Waltham Forest Council, you're wasting public funds by having so many people tied up with my complaints. Well, I'm sorry I'm complaining so much, but if you were doing your job properly 5 years ago, then I wouldn't have anything to complain about. The more it goes on, the more you do wrong. Ian Duncan Smith, corporate manslaughter. He's not called me once in 2 years. He's not called me once in 5 years, to be honest. But I've been asking him to call me for 2 years, and he's refused to call me. Call, talk to verbally. not send me an email or a letter. He actually said last year, he said he was above the law. His office said the data protection does not apply to Ian Duncan Smith and refused my request for records. Doesn't apply. That's what his office told me February last year. Thank you. Ian Duncan Smith, above the law. Then you've got all my 3 local councillors who have failed their duty of care by not talking to me for 2 years. One won't talk to me because I reported his friend for smoking cannabis in front of children. And the other one won't talk to me because she thinks I was stalking her and told the entire senior management at the council with no evidence. So what was the problem for the first 3 years when she wouldn't call me either? Everything I reported to that woman, she forgot as soon as I told her. Because I kept repeating the same requests. And she kept saying, you'll have to remind me, Mr. Gibbons, what was that about again? Which means she hadn't taken any action because she hasn't got any notes and she's got a laptop with her all the time. Nothing was there. So I'd like to know why she ignored all my queries. NHS England need investigating because they have no checks to make sure that duty of care is being carried out. They hand over the duty of care without any due diligence. They don't check up. They just hand it over entirely. When, for safety's sake, they should pass over duty of care and then chase them up the following day. People are dying probably because of this, but no one seems to care. The press and the media have let me down because I've tried raising it to them and they've ignored me. All the MPs have let me down. I've emailed them twice in the last year, 3 weeks apart, and none of them would help me. All the MPs emailed individually. 1,300 emails that arranges at. And they kept saying, I have to contact Ian Duncan Smith. I explained in the email, Ian Duncan Smith was not talking to me, and he wouldn't explain why. And none of the MPs were concerned. So there's got to be a safeguarding issue there. NHS England again, because when I sent in an email 3 days ago explaining exactly what's going to happen and exactly what my mental health was, I got a boilerplate email back with no due care or diligence on the email. So I called them the next day and I explained to the woman, have you read my email? She said no. And I said, read the email and you tell me if the response I got was appropriate to the contents of the email. And as soon as she started reading the email, she said, oh, I am frightfully sorry, Mr. Gibbons. Is there anything I can help you with? And I said something to the effect that the NHS couldn't stop trying to kill people. Because basically those boilerplate responses are going to kill people. The whole system has let me down. All the charities concerned have let me down. All the solicitors in the area will not take my case on. Probably because there's some sort of cartel with Waltham Forest Council who seem to have more solicitors than you can shake a stick out. Is that Nadia? I don't know. I can't see. And whenever I contact solicitor and mention Waltham Forest Council, oh no, we're not taking cases on your area. Oh, isn't that uncanny? So, if nothing gets done, then I've arranged for Mary to pick my cats up Monday week. Because I don't want my cats affected by this. And if I don't get any medication after Sunday week, then I'll end up either having a fit or having a reaction to not having any meds or having a TIA or a full-blown stroke. And at that point, I will not be fit enough to look after my children. Thanks to the incompetence of everyone I've mentioned in this email. From the NHS, to the police, to the local authorities, to the housing ombudsman. The local government ombudsman aren't too bad. I actually like those people. They was, or have tried to be, as helpful as they can. And they're patient and well trained. Housing ombudsman? No. I've met their chief exec now. And I've emailed him twice. He hasn't responded to any of my emails. And I emailed the chief exec of the LGO, and I had someone call back 2 days later. Very concerned. Housing ombudsman? Nothing. I've complained about the procedures at the housing ombudsman on several times, and it doesn't seem to have an effect. They refuse to make any adjustments. Oh, apart from the fact they'll call me before they email me. Well, that's not going to help if you're going to send, 15 emails consolidated into one for someone with autism, like me. You're not really making a reasonable adjustment. You're just calling me before you email me. So, the Housing Ombudsman, I've taken this up with Resolver as well, because I've been doing my complaints through Resolver, and the Housing Ombudsman do not work with Resolver, I've been told. They don't like it, etc., etc. I've got a phone recording of that. I'll be sending these phone recordings across to the 2 people I've mentioned earlier. Just make sure that, if the worst happens, then the cases continue. Because this behaviour needs to stop. Is there anyone I can actually see who's here? Oh, it is Nadia. Hello, Nadia. Nice to see you. This needs to stop. Harold Chickman and Victoria Columbier need to stop. Lessons were not learned because doctors are treated like gods and they're treated like they're doing their job properly when they're not. And councils are treated like they're totally honest and responsible when they're not. In my opinion and in my experience, councils do as little as they can get away with and they make sure the paperwork covers their back. No one checks anything beyond the paperwork. This is why people die and people suffer. So, oh, Nadia's gone there. So, I really don't know. I'm going to try and keep you updated on here. And I'll try and transfer these over to YouTube at some time. But the way I am, I can't even do a live video on YouTube at the moment. So, I've got approximately 9 days before my meds run out. And 11 or 12 days before that starts affecting me. I've been down this road before. And accidentally forgot my pills for a couple of days, and that's when it started. I've got like a day and a half before I start realising I've not taken my pills. So that's why after Sunday night it'll be Tuesday morning to Tuesday lunchtime before anything starts happening. So if anyone wants to help, you can ask your own MP why nothing's happened and why they ignored my letter. Okay, when I say ignored, I mean something more than just saying, oh, we've passed your comments on to Ian Duncan Smith. Why have no MPs signposted or safeguarded me? Duty of care, public sector, Section 149, 2010 Equality Act. I was under social services until I moved this to the borough and they refused to put me under social services. So I've been on my own for 5 years. I've had no one to talk to for 5 years. And I can't even get simple things done, like repairing a tap, for 5 years. I moved into this place, there was bare electrical wires hanging off the ceiling and the walls. And the council just wanted to leave it for 6 months because I was a mutual. and I had to put a complaint in on my third day here because they refused to come and sort out what their previous tenant had left behind. And then when I keep catching them out lying, they don't like that either. And the reason I know I've caught them out on several occasions lying is because they provided the frigging evidence. Freedom of information requests are now being withheld because I'm using it against the council. Don't think the information commissioner agrees with that. They won't even give me a full copy of my record because on my record it will show that they've put restrictions in and there'll be a note on there saying this is not to be advised to Mr. Gibbons. Don't worry, I've worked in 8 councils, roughly. Some councils were like 2 councils, so I'm not sure how it counts. And I know there's records that are marked up not to be told to the client or the customer or whatever it's marked up as. And yet, if it's on the computer, I'm entitled to a copy of it. And they're refusing a copy of my notes. So they must have something to hide. And if they do give me a copy of my notes, I wouldn't trust them anyway, because they would have had so much time to cleanse it. They would need to show me the backup copy as well to make sure there's been no changes. And they won't do that because they'll use the £1,000 rule or whatever it is. So someone out there needs to investigate Waltham Forest Council beyond that a normal person can. I would say it'd be up to my MP, but hey, my MP doesn't talk to me and he won't explain why. He thinks 2 emails in 18 months is a lot of work. I do pity him sometimes. Must be that shiny head of his. Maybe it affects his intelligence. Oh, he don't like me because I put him down on YouTube as well. I'm sorry, I only tell the truth on YouTube. If you've got a problem, take me to court. Thank you very much. Anyway, thank you for Nadia watching. At least someone cared. I'll try and keep you updated, but like I say, it depends on my mood and if anyone calls me. So thank you for that, and I'll speak to you again soon, I do hope.